Hi folks, today we're going to take a look at Long Island Audit, where he goes to Louisiana and gets thrown out of a courthouse. But not only that, he gets his feelings hurt and acts, well, in typical fashion. Before we get into today's video, a quick announcement. I want to thank all of my current and new subscribers and members to the channel. I greatly appreciate it because it greatly helps out the channel and myself. And if you can, please hit the notification bell, subscribe to the channel, and like the video. And if possible, please become a member. Again, it helps the channel grow and it helps me out a lot. With all that being said, let's enjoy today's video, shall we?
We're at the City Courthouse here in Kenner, Louisiana. We're here today, as always, to peacefully exercise our First Amendment right to film in public and publicly accessible areas, to promote transparency and accountability within our government, and to ensure that our public servants recognize our rights and treat us with respect. Let's get into it. All right, guys, so we're just getting inside the courtroom here. Hey, how are you? Alright, so this is the hallway in the courthouse over here. We have some offices over here.
Turn it off. You can't bring that in the building.
Oh,
No.
Hey.
Whoa, nothing.
No.
You can't bring that in the building. You got to go take it back out.
What do you mean?
Just what I said.
Why
you can't
can't I?
have any record. You're actually committing a felony right now.
How am I committing a felony?
Because you cannot film in a courtroom.
I'm not
Have
in a
you
court.
ever-
Am I in a court? Are we in a
Yes, you
courtroom?
are. Yeah.
Now, did anyone else notice that jump cut? That wasn't from me. That's from this video. It seems like you were told to turn the camera off, and you did. And then you turned it back on when you went in there. And now that you're being told to turn the camera off or leave the building, you're causing a scene, which would be grounds to be kicked out of the courthouse.
Every part of this court. No.
We're
Come
not
on,
in a
sir.
courtroom.
I'm not going to
We're
argue
not
with
in
you.
a courtroom.
Yes, you are. Any facet
Get your
of the
hands
court.
off
I'm not
of
going
me.
to tell you
Get
again.
your hands
I'm
off of
telling
me.
you. Out.
Get your hands
Out.
off of me.
Out. Yeah, you can't.
How
go
is this
out.
considered
I'm
the
being
courtroom?
nice.
I'm going
I'm
out.
filming you. I'm not. Yeah, you can't.
You need to get your hands off of
No,
me.
I'm
I want to speak to your
I'm
supervisor.
escorting you out. Out.
Yeah, you get escorted
Out
out.
the room. Yeah.
Step out. You cannot bring anything in this courtroom.
Where's the law that says that?
I'll show you. Step out of the building.
I'm
Go
out of
get
the building.
Step out of the
I'm
doorway.
out of the building.
Let me go get the sheet for you.
Can I get the law?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to see the
absolutely.
law. What's your name and badge number?
Wait, well, let's see. We got it posted.
It specifically
But if
says.
You read this.
Look, no, you look. Look over here. Look. In courtrooms.
Yeah.
It specifically says in courtrooms. In.
Yes, the sign that you're trying to point out says in the courtrooms. However, there are signs that the other gentleman is trying to point out to you. Plus, on the door is a nice sized big red and white sign that says a no cell phone zone. If the chief judge of the building issues out an order saying no recording in the buildings or adjacent to the courtrooms, you cannot do it. Meaning the hallways become part of the courthouse and part of the courtroom, so you can't record. So your argument is mute.
whole
Courtrooms.
area.
Do you understand what that means?
No. Do you
in
understand what I'm telling
courtrooms?
you? Do you
No.
understand
Are you
what
a
I'm
law
telling
enforcement officer?
Yeah. Excuse
Can I
me?
get your name and badge number?
You can look it up.
What does that mean?
232
Is that
one.
professional?
Yeah.
Is that
No,
you can look it up?
We're going to show you what I'm telling you about. Okay.
It says in courtrooms. Where do you get off just putting your hands on people
No,
like
I'm trying to
that?
escort you out because I don't want
There
you
you
to
go. You
go.
can have this guy.
There you go. There you go.
In courtrooms. In courtrooms. Why can't I want to speak to? I want to speak to a supervisor.
I am.
All right.
This explains the whole anything involving the court in this building. It's written in this law for you.
This is not a law.
No, Supreme Court rule.
Yeah, it's a Supreme Court rule.
But it's still not a law. It's a policy. It says here.
Right, Supreme Court
They
ruling.
control
Yeah.
all courts. I'm trying to tell you when you're in there, you can't film.
In courtrooms.
Yes, and
If
anything
you're
adjacent when
anything
court's
adjacent
going
to
on.
it.
Court is going on right now.
Where does it say adjacent to courtrooms? Show me in here specifically. You're the one that's enforcing this rule or policy, so I want to have it clear. What part of this am I
Now, this is the
in
city
violation?
That ain't the Supreme Court.
Photographs, courtroom, or any facility designated a courtroom under circumstances.
Yeah.
It's not stated.
I'm not in a courtroom.
This is it. You can have a copy of it.
But I'm not in a courtroom.
That's it. We
I
gotta
passed
go
You
back
it.
can go to the Supreme
Yep.
Court and look it up.
So what would I be arrested for then? If I go in here and
Not listening.
exercise my
Come on.
rights? Not
You're not
listening.
taking that in here. I'm not going to tell you again.
But what-
Get
Step out
your
of the
foot.
doorway.
I'm trying to get in and access services.
Well, you could be arrested for trespassing. you could be arrested for causing a disturbance, disturbing the peace, and be found in contempt of court for violating the judge's order. However, they're trying to get you out of there so you don't have to be arrested. Yes, could they have been a little more polite? I'd agree. However, what services are you trying to require? You are not a resident of Louisiana, and you're not a resident of Kenner, Louisiana as well. So, what are you trying to accomplish? Gathering content for a story that you'll never put out? Because, again, you're just a First Amendment auditor. You're not a journalist.
Wow. They handed me a paper that says nothing to do with, that has nothing to do with filming inside of the courtroom. It says right here, City of Kenner, Office of the Clerk of Court, in courtrooms.
You're lying.
Shenanigans. I am calling shenanigans Long Island audits. If you read that very top, it says courtrooms and adjacent and immediate rooms while court is in session. If court is in session, the hallways become adjacent to the courtrooms, which means you cannot film there. You can't take photos there. They are telling you the truth. You just don't want to believe it.
And this is just a policy by the chief magistrate.
Here you go.
What's
There's a
this?
copy of the other one. That's a state copy of it.
You assaulted me, you understand that, right?
I didn't insult you.
Oh, wait, you serious? Let me laugh even harder.
You didn't assault me?
No.
I would like to file...
Escorted you out the building, that's all.
Supervisor, I'd like to file a complaint against this man.
Vets.
500 vets.
Yep.
Wow, really professional. Really professional. They're just making themselves look like complete and utter tyrants. The law doesn't apply to them, apparently. We the people, we're going to hold them accountable, though. I promise you. We will do everything we can. Completely ridiculous. Who do you call when law enforcement is acting like complete thugs and violating your constitutional rights? That's the problem we have here, the accountability, ladies and gentlemen. I had my rights violated. They're denying me access to a building, a public building here, and I was assaulted
Oh, blow it out your ass.
in the process. I would like a unit to respond, please. Preferably a supervisor. Alright guys, so we're gonna wait out front here of the Rivertown Exhibition Hall Mayor's Court here in Kenner, Louisiana. We originally tried to call the Jefferson Parish Sheriff's Office, but they referred me to the Kenner Police Department. As you can see right here. Those tyrants inside are from the Kenner Police Department, so I'm not having much hope here. Something tells me they're not going to do anything, because as we've seen time and time again, ladies and gentlemen, is that law enforcement is sadly above the law.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
What are you talking about? Okay, a couple of things we need to address here. One, you did violate the Louisiana Supreme Court order issued through the judges, saying that you can't film in there when there is sessions. Since they are in session, the hallway becomes adjacent to the courtroom, which means no photography, no recording, which is fair. And this comment that they're tyrants and law enforcement's not held accountable, I can pull up several cases of cops being brought to justice for breaking the law. But that doesn't fit your narrative. What fits your narrative and what fits your agenda for your clicks and views for ad revenue is to call the cops tyrants and to say they violated your civil rights, when really they didn't.
No one in this country or anywhere should be above the law. How you doing, officer? I'm the one that called you guys. So, can I talk to you? Okay, great. Yeah, they've locked access from the public entering in to a public building. You see that? Look, I called law enforcement because I was assaulted and my rights were violated. And he immediately goes to speak with his brothers inside, other law enforcement officers, instead of speaking to me, the person who called. That's the mentality. That is the mentality. I love exposing tyrants. I love it. How you doing today, sir?
Good, man. Let's go.
So is anybody going to speak to me, the person who called? No? Wow, what a bunch of clowns. Unprofessional. Unprofessional. Both of them just completely sidestepped me, wanted nothing to do with talking to me. Hey, how are you doing? Can I get your name and badge number, please, sir?
Brent Donovan. What you got? You got a complaint? What's the deal?
Yeah, can I get your name and badge number, please? Yeah, so I called you guys down here.
Okay.
I see that you spoke to them first, which isn't shocking to me at all. But
Do you need something, my man?
yeah, I do. I was actually... Yeah. What, you have something else to do more important than doing your job? I don't understand.
You have anything?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, go ahead. Make it
Yeah,
quick.
so Sir, you're doing your job right now. There's no need to escalate the situation. Just...
Okay, are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready. I'm ready.
Yeah. They said they already spoke with you. They didn't want you in there for whatever reason. They gave you some statutes.
You can't just... Yeah, they didn't give me any statutes. They didn't give me any...
More than welcome.
Liar!
You can go to the lockup and speak to you. You can make a complaint on somebody.
They
okay?
did... Listen,
All right, we're gonna
they
head out.
didn't...
Appreciate it. You have a good day.
This is you taking a complaint? This is you taking a complaint. So this is you taking a complaint from a concerned citizen?
Don't get too close to him, man. All right?
I'm not even nowhere near you.
Like I said, just don't put it so close.
Hey,
to
don't touch me. Don't touch
Listen to
me.
Don't
Don't...
touch me.
No, you don't touch me.
You should be able to be in touching range of him. I mean, you've walked up to him to the point where he can actually push you back from being near him in his personal space. That's on you, bro. But let's get into the point. They were told you couldn't film there while court is in session. You don't want to believe it. They gave you documentation showing the state's ruling on it. They've also given you the Supreme Court's ruling on it. The cops spoke to them, but yet you still don't want to listen. And now you want to be hostile because you know they'll get you clicks and views from your viewers.
Me. Don't touch
Don't
me.
get in my personal space. You
Don't
understand
touch
that?
me.
You understand that?
You're looking for a reason to violate my rights, and I'm going to hold you accountable.
That's fine. You have a great day, okay?
What's up with you? What's up with law enforcement over here in Kenner? Huh? You like putting your hands on people? You like going hands on, right? That's what the officers inside did. I was assaulted. You're not going to do anything about it, right?
Dramatization may not have happened.
No, because... Yeah, exactly, no. Why? Because you just assaulted me too. It's common practice here in Kenner, right?
Right.
Think you could just put your hands on anybody? If you didn't have that uniform on, you wouldn't have put your hands on me, and you know it. But because you got that badge and that gun on, you want to be tough to the person that you're supposed to serve.
You have a great day, okay?
Yeah. You have the day you deserve, tyrant.
They did not assault you, neither did that officer. You were pushed out of the building because you refused to leave. And they didn't even push you. They gently guided you out to the hallway, out the door, and gave you the documentation you needed. You got into that officer's personal space, and he gently pushed you out of his personal space. You're not even a resident of Louisiana. You're a resident of New York. What are you trying to do other than waste people's time?
Completely ridiculous. Completely ridiculous. Wouldn't even take a complaint. Completely ridiculous. Kenner Police, car 235. Wow. So we're going to be filing complaints on these two officers as well as the officers inside. All right, guys, we have just arrived at the Kenner Police Complex here in Kenner, Louisiana. Let's go inside and file our formal complaints against the officers involved in violating our constitutional rights. Hello.
Yes, hi.
Hi, I would like to speak to a supervisor regarding a complaint.
Okay, what type of complaint?
A complaint against officers.
Okay, go ahead and have a seat. What's your name?
My first name is Sean, S-E-A-N.
All right, go ahead and have a seat.
All right, thank you. Hi, ma'am, how are you?
Hi, how you doing?
Good.
I'm Detective Gallagher.
Detective Gallagher?
Affairs. You want to come over here?
Sure, that's fine. So, Detective, I'm just here today. I wanted to file a complaint against a few of your officers.
Okay.
I'm an independent journalist. I travel around the country and promote transparency and
Why the fuck you lying? Why you always lying? Oh my God, stop fucking lying.
Accountability within government. I was exercising my First Amendment right at the mayor's court in Kenner, and I was physically removed from the building. No de-escalation techniques were used at all. Just immediately went hands-on with me and physically removed me from the building and then locked me out of the building so I couldn't access that public building. They were saying that there was some sort of policy against recording in the courtrooms. They handed me some policies that did state you cannot record in courtrooms. Signed policies, not laws, but signed by judges, so probably judges' orders. But I was never in a courtroom, and I was in the publicly accessible areas. Then they came out and handed me again another Louisiana State Supreme Court ruling, that's a policy against judicial conduct that stated that you cannot record adjacent to an active courtroom. So I wasn't anywhere near a courtroom. I was in the courthouse, yes, I would agree.
If you're in the hallways where the courtrooms are and there are active sessions, that letter they gave you sums it up. You cannot film adjacent to the courtrooms when court is in session. And court was in session. See, your argument has now been defeated by your own words. You gotta love cameras when they catch all frauders lying.
With that, I was in the publicly accessible lobby areas. I was going to actually speak to the clerk to pull some files. Again, it's about transparency and accountability in government. And like I said, they didn't want to hear any of it. I tried to explain to them when I was there, to my purpose there. They didn't want to hear it. They grabbed me and immediately pushed me out of the building. I then called for, because I wasn't aware at that time that they were Kenner police officers. I was aware that they were police officers, but I tried to call the Jefferson County Parish, the sheriff, Jefferson Parish sheriffs, and they directed me to Kenner. 2 officers came out, so I called and I said, hey, listen, my rights are being violated. I was assaulted. You know, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Under the statute in Louisiana, I was assaulted. So 2 officers came out. I tried to greet them cordially when they arrived on the scene. They didn't want anything to do with me. They just, even though I called for them to respond.
Was that the Jefferson Parish or the Kenner?
This was the Kenner.
Okay.
So they responded. They didn't even acknowledge me. They just went inside, spoke to their partners, I guess. They spoke to their coworkers and came out and said, what do you want? Like, what are you doing here? And I was like, well, I was just exercising my rights. Like, well, they told you can't go in there. You can't go in there. Public building or not, there's nothing I could do for you. So they wouldn't even listen to my complaint.
No, everything you've just said is a big crock. You were told by the courthouse staff to leave. They showed you the policies that you're violating. They told you court is in session and you can't record. They didn't assault you. The cops didn't assault you. They told you. And you had the documentation to prove that you couldn't go in there. We're getting the video here. He files his complaint and he goes on a literal 4 to 5 minute tirade on how the cops are tyrants and they don't do their jobs. If you guys like this video, please like, share, and subscribe. Leave a thumbs up and a comment because it helps me with the algorithm. And if you can, please become a member. It's a great way to support the channel and it helps me out a lot as well. With all that being said, be well, be safe, and I'll see you guys next time. A big thank you to all of my channel members. Without you guys, I couldn't keep the channel going, so thank you.